Hello. Tonight, we bring you part 2 of our program on backward integration, a development strategy of the federal government, and this is in a bid to touch on all its ramifications. Have a good evening and welcome to Weekend File. Now, rejigging of the nation's economic structure is pertinent to the attainment of a viable and stable economy founded on a sound philosophy of multifaceted backward integration program. The federal government made it clear that the move to stimulate backward integration is to enable Nigeria's business concerns gain control of the supplies needed for the production of goods and improve the value chain in the manufacturing sector for global industrial competitiveness. Last week, at a conference in Lagos, the Manufacturers Association of Nigeria, MAN, deliberated on the importance of sustaining the backward integration policy in order to strengthen various linkages in the value chain and link the small and medium-scale enterprises with the large-scale industrial concerns in the country. Now, the good news is that the policy has gained traction in indigenous manufacture of science and technology-driven products. For instance, Profos Company at Remo in Ogun State specializes in the making of armored vehicles. And federal government, through the National Agency for Science and Engineering Institute, NASENI, has reached advanced stage of establishing transformer manufacturing plant in Kogi State. And currently, about 60 Nigerian engineers are, of course, undergoing training in China in transformer manufacturing and, of course, high voltage testing laboratory services. Now, the HMA Medical Company Limited, Ilori, a medical and pharmaceutical company, specializes in development, manufacturing, and customization of pharmaceutical products. The Aba legacy is scaling up as shoemakers get collaboration with German Cooperation Agency. Now, you will learn more of these giant strides in this second part of our program on the impacts of backward integration strategy of the government. My name is Kirian Umayo, and this is Weekend File. The news beat is next. Benefiting communities of the multi-purpose Kashimbila Hydro Power Project in Taraba State are counting their blessings as federal government moves to wrap up remaining work on the project. Minister of Power, Saleh Maman, who visited the station, says all challenges on the way of the project will be overcome. Joshua Ojito tells us more.
The hydroelectricity component is of 40 megawatts to be added on national grid. This life-changing infrastructure has two components, and that is the transmission and the distribution component. In fact, work on the transmission component is already completed.
We have erected so far over 1,000 towers and made almost 300 kilometers of transmission lines, including 6 substations.
There are other benefits of the dam to provide potable water, irrigation, tourism and fishing, a source of livelihood for hundreds of people.
I'm very, very grateful because the project, I know that is the one to bring a development to us here in the village. And in fact, I'm very, very happy the way that the President, Mr. President, did.
Yes, my business will move. Before even their slide, I will not find it very difficult.
The Minister of Power expresses happiness with the progress on the project.
I'm very, very, very much impressed. And we are going back to now sit down with the engineers and analyze and come out with a statement.
We have already discussing with the distribution companies, and they will now pick from the feeders to generate power to the communities so that they can actually benefit from what government has put place for them here.
Under the project, substations have been built and completed in Yandev, Takum and Ukari to boost power supply in Benue, Taraba and Enugu states. From Kashambila in Taraba State, Joshua Ojito, NTA News.
Governor Abubakar Atiku BAGUDU says his administration is determined to ensure even distribution of developmental projects and basic amenities across the state, irrespective of political or geographical affiliation. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that Governor BAGUDU affirmed this at the inauguration of a road that links Kanya and Gbazawa communities in Danko in Kebbi State.
The 1.2-kilometer road of Kanya to Gwazawa consists of a bridge, a single-cell culvert, and drainages. The community members expressed gratitude, pointed out that the road will improve agriculture and socio-economic activities of the area. Governor Abubakar Atiku BAGUDU, while commissioning the road, explained that such projects aim to fast-track development, ease transportation of agricultural goods and services, and improve socio-economic activities of the people. The acting permanent secretary, Ministry of Works and Transportation, Engineer Usman Muhammad Gadu, disclosed that the road worth 288,450 naira was a direct labor awarded to the Army Corps of Engineers and completed successfully. The representative of the Army Corps of Engineer, Colonel Bello Umar Yawuri, disclosed that the project was completed within 6 months and the bridge covers 650 meters. Chief of Wasagu, Alhaji Mukhtar Musa Wasagu, expressed gratitude to the government for the project. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
The British government is to provide more technical support to the ongoing environmental remediation project in Ogoniland in order to preserve the traditional livelihood of farming and fishing of the people. British Deputy High Commissioner to Nigeria, Gail Atkinson, disclosed this when she led a delegation of the Commission to inspect the cleanup project in Ogoniland. Robinson Deratede reports.
Delegation of the British High Commission was conducted around 6 lots at Eleme and 1 lot in Tai, actively advancing. The contamination level of the soil is said to be as deep as 8 to 9 meters, and the companies are already excavating the soil in order to treat it, as well as building biocells towards preventing the contamination of other areas. The High Commissioner appreciated the gradual remediation process and promised our nation's technical support through the Department of International Development.
It's important that this work is done properly and to a high standard, and that people understand that to get the cleaning process right will take time, and this is a long-term support to the project.
IPREP project coordinator Marvin Dekel maintains the stance of the federal government not to compromise the remediation standard in order to serve as a template for the cleanup of other parts of the Niger Delta region.
Previous attempts to remediate the place did not include these biocells, so it's the first time this is being done this way in Nigeria by the Nigerian government.
Earlier, the British Deputy High Commissioner was decorated with the title of the prominent female friend of the Eleme people by the paramount ruler of Eleme Kingdom, His Royal Majesty Philip Obele. From Eleme in River State, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
Petrol tanker explosion has claimed 3 lives, leaving 11 others with various degrees of burns at Diko Junction in Tafa local government area of Niger State. Mukhtar Abubakar reports that 19 vehicles and several shops were burnt.
The fully loaded petrol tanker was said to have slipped and caught fire when the driver was trying to park on the shoulder of the road, which was washed away.
The shoulder, there is not any shoulder here. Please don't park here. We now refuse. We now starting revising the car coming back. We now fall down in our vehicle.
I suspected the tanker was not in good condition because the driver was driving slowly.
The explosion killed 1 person instantly, while 2 others died while receiving treatment at a traditional bone healing center in Suleja.
We have decided to come to the traditional bone healing center because of the poor treatment at the Sabon Hussein General Hospital.
The officials of the Niger State government who visited the scene of the incident ordered the immediate closure of the roadside motor parks and shops in the area.
Shows and parks are illegal. We are going to evacuate them, as far as we're concerned, because people's life matter.
Local governments should know that this place is an illegal park.
With all sister agencies to make sure the evacuation is safe and there should be no more casualties.
The tanker explosion destroyed about 20 shops and 19 vehicles at the roadside motor park. Tar Abubakar, NTA News.
Chairman of the Ad Hoc Committee of the Economic Council on Crude Oil Theft Prevention and Control, Governor Godwin Obaseki of Edo State, is seeking a common front towards eradicating the menace of crude oil theft that is said to be on the rise. This was at a stakeholders meeting held at the NNPC Towers in Abuja.
This challenge has gotten to an alarming level, where for the first half of this year alone, it is on record that we have lost almost 22 million barrels of crude oil, with an estimated cost of almost $1.35 billion. If this trend is not abated, it will therefore mean that by year-end this year, we'll have lost over $2.5 billion US.
In another development, the NNPC and the Total Nigeria have expressed willingness to grow daily national oil and gas production and reserves to meet the 40 billion barrels national target. This was when Mele Kyari, GMD of the NNPC, and Mike Sangster, Managing Director of Total Nigeria, met at the NNPC Towers in Abuja.
And I assure you that we work together to make sure that we progress all efforts to grow production and reserves. I appeal also to note your decision to go into exploration, which many people are not doing today.
I think from Total's perspective, we've got a long and very successful partnership with NNPC, which we would very much like to continue.
President Muhammadu Buhari says he remains faithful to his campaign promises of non-interference in the mandates of the nation's anti-graft agencies as they wage a broad-based war against all corrupt elements holding Nigeria to ransom. This was in a message at the passing out parade of participants in the EFCC Detective Superintendent Class 8 at the Nigerian Defense Academy, from where Mejama Adamu reports.
These are the elite cadets of the EFCC that survived grueling training in physical fitness, intelligence, and regimental expertise after a year of rigorous engagement at the Nigerian Defense Academy. President Muhammadu Buhari said in his message at the passing out parade that his administration will spare no expense in rescuing the nation from the grip of economic criminals.
It is possible to have a society where the corrupt are reduced to endangered species. It is my hope that you will join us in taking criminality and corruption out of governance.
I promise to all Nigerians that you are going to see an officer with the highest level of professionalism, equipped with the right skills.
We are going to use our intellectual training that we've acquired here in the Nigerian Defense Academy.
I am going to join my effort with others. I
also want to appeal to every Nigerian to join us in the fight against corruption, because everybody has a responsibility in the fight against corruption.
I've been transformed into a disciplined working team that we hope will help fight corruption in Nigeria.
Beyond the fanfare of ushering these 328 EFCC cadets into the operational fold of the anti-corruption agency is the reality of the challenge ahead. The challenge of consolidating upon the anti-corruption crusade of the Buhari-led administration. From the Nigerian Defense Academy, Kaduna, Mejama Adamu, NTA News.
Thank you, Mejama. Several members of the Boko Haram terrorist group have been killed in a counterattack backed by troops of the Operation Lafia Dole in Borno State. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa, who accompanied the Chief of Army Staff, Lieutenant General Tokoro Buratai, on operational visits to the scene of the incident near KAJERAM in northern Borno, reports that several weapons were recovered from the disclosed terrorists, the dislodged terrorists. The Army Chief, with some principal officers, also conducted all-night aggressive patrol on the route from Maiduguri to Monguno. The headquarters Spectre 3 Operation Lafia Dole. The Buhari administration will not give up on Leah Sharibu, who has been in custody of Boko Haram terrorists, saying instead of giving up, the government is carrying forward processes that would hopefully yield her release from her captors. Speaking to newsmen in Abuja, the Senior Special Assistant Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, who was responding to speculations on whether Leah Sharibu has been harmed by her abductors, saying lines of communications remain open with the kidnappers to secure her release. The presidential spokesman said the government is aware and understands how difficult it is for families of abductees and assures them of government's determination in pursuing all options to ensure Leah Sharibu's and others' safe return to their families. The Nigerian Air Force has completed the airlift of relief materials and medical supplies to Mozambique and Zimbabwe to further assist victims of the massive flooding that affected some communities in those countries in April 2019. In a statement by the NAF Director of Public Relations and Information, Air Commodore Ibukunle Daramola, the airlift missions were executed by NAF aircraft on behalf of the National Emergency Management Agency in furtherance of the NAF's constitutional rules of projecting air power beyond the shores of the country, as well as providing military aid to civil authority. The NAF aircrew and NEMA officials handed over the items to officials from the Nigeria High Commission in the two countries for onward delivery to their host government. And now to health matters. Traditional medicine remains an important aspect of healthcare delivery and a part of a socio-cultural composition in Africa, as it is a major source of medical services. Minister of State for Health, Adeleke Momora, said this in Abuja as Nigeria joins in the celebration of African Traditional Medicine Week. Basse Itaibang has the report.
Herbal treatments are the most popular form of traditional medicine, which has been in existence as long as mankind. It is a source of food, medicine, and has great environmental purposes. Ensuring that these products meet international standards is the reason for the week-long celebration.
The ultimate goal of government intervention in this multidisciplinary sector is to derive maximum health, economic and social development benefits from traditional medicine.
If you say you don't believe in African traditional medicine, you are fake. African traditional medicine must be used by Africans, must be promoted for Africans in a positive way.
Stakeholders in the health sector raised their voices in support of traditional medicine practitioners, giving their suggestions and preferring solutions on how to give their products the required acceptability.
NAFDAC is on the forefront of making sure that medicines are translated into commercial products.
In Nigeria, the celebration started with an enlightenment work across major streets in Abuja, exhibition and symposium where the issue of validation, safety, efficacy and standardization came to the fore.
Herbal organics are safer, they work better. In terms of toxicity, they are very low.
The only saving grace that humanity still have in the area of medicine is to go back to nature.
The 2019 event focused on the introduction of traditional medicine in the curriculum of health sciences studies. Basse Itaibang, NTA.
Member representing Aniocha Oshimili Federal Constituency at the National Assembly, Ndudi Elumelu, has reassured his constituents of equitable representation and dividends of democracy. He was received on arrival at the Asaba Airport by supporters en route to his hometown on Ichuku, Aniocha, Luke government area of Delta State. Austin Demodu reports.
The man of the moment, Ndudi Elumelu, arrived at the Asaba Airport in the company of some of his colleagues from the House of Representatives in a carnival-like reception. Different women groups, youths, and leaders of thought from his constituency trooped out in their numbers in solidarity. It is his first homecoming after his emergence as the minority leader of the House of Representatives. Ndudi Elumelu said he is overwhelmed by the show of love by his people. He expressed optimism that the leadership of the House of Representatives will place the people first in their legislative duties.
We are one family. We have APC here, we have PDP here, we have ABGA, we have ADC, all of us. We are one family. The day we are sworn in, we became one. And the essence of that is for us to build a formidable nation for our people and ensure that the good dividends of democracy gets to our people. So we don't talk about party once we're on the floor. And that is what they are showcasing by coming here with me. Good law and good consultation. And that one of them is why I'm here, to consult with my constituents and see what they can tell me to take back to the floor of the House so that we can have a very united Nigeria.
With this kind of projects, laudable projects, hospitals, homes, and so many other things are attracted to this place. It takes a man with very deep knowledge of what he's doing to have done that, and I think they will be better off for it.
The popular Ibu Wonder and other groups were on hand to add glamour to the event. At Austin, Ejemoro, NTA News.
And President Muhammadu Buhari felicitates with Chief David Edebiri, the Sabah of Benin Kingdom, on the occasion of his 90th birthday. A statement by the Presidential Assistant on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu. The President joins members of Edebiri family, friends and well-wishers in celebrating an important and respected son of Benin Kingdom's cultural heritage. President Buhari values the goodwill and fatherly advice of the Nigerian to this government, even as he prays Almighty God to grant the Sovereign of Benin longer life in health and happiness. Now you're watching Weekend File on the network service of the NTA. The prioritization of backward integration is meant to fast-track indigenous ownership of source of supply of goods from raw materials to finished products. We shall hear more of that in our correspondence report up ahead after the break. Now.